Howdy, I'm Bob Terry. Welcome to Forsaken Westerns. Up next, we've got one of the rarest of Western TV show pilots ever produced. It's not in great shape, but it is watchable, and it stars James Warren. James had a little bit of stardom coming to him in the 1940s Westerns, including playing Randolph Scott's brother in Bad Man's Territory. And he's got two great sidekicks in this, too. Some good comical sidekicks. Frank Yaconelli and Milburn Morante, and they play Chico and Rusty. And we've got some good villains. One of them is Glenn Strange, and the sheriff is his cousin, Cactus Mac. Both of those in hundreds of westerns. Well, the bank's been robbed by some masked villains, and they've killed two good men in the process. And our hero, Trigger Saunders, is out to apprehend the villains. This series is titled Trigger Tales. This episode is titled Gun Blazers. Sit back, relax, pick your boots up, and enjoy this. And we'll see you after the show.
Hey, fellas, look at that.
How do you like that?
Chico and Rusty, you wait here. I'm heading into town alone.
Oh, no, we better go in with you.
Chico's right, Trigger. You can't tell what you'll be riding into.
Well, maybe so. I'll soon find out one way or the other.
You know, Rusty, I think Trigger is loco. Some of these days, his gun's not going to be fast enough.
Oh, I ain't worried about his guns. It's his trigger figure that worries me.
Maybe so.
Wonder who that guy is.
I don't know. Maybe he's packing a star.
Well, keep him covered. I'll tell the boss.
All right.
See, Tom Strong was a wealthy rancher, and he was in the bank at the time the masqueraders blazed their way in. Wasn't even armed, had his hands up, and was shot down in cold blood.
Well, did anybody recognize him?
No, they didn't. But in their getaway, they killed Jim Wright, my best deputy.
Jim Wright. I remember him. He was a swell guy. Had a wife and two cute kids.
That's right.
Hey, it's a sizable reward this Hilton's offering.
Yeah, he and Strong was good friends, and he was always visiting the Strong ranch and still does. I guess he's kind of sorry for Mrs. Strong.
I reckon I'll visit the Strong ranch myself. Say, how do I get there?
You go east out of town and take the right fork at the crossroads.
Ah, my senorita. She is delight. I will see her this night in the candlelight. And I hope before the day is done, She will cook me frijoles, my little pigeon. Oh, it is you, huh, you coyote? What in the world's the matter with you anyway?
Don't you call me a coyote.
What are you talking about? I'm trying to write poetry over here.
I don't care about your poetry. Do you want to go? I don't care.
You
he
must
told
do
us to
something.
stay here.
Hey,
We're going to stay
hey,
right
hey,
here.
hey.
That's all.
When are you fellas ever going to stop arguing?
Oh, Rusty starts it all the time.
Oh, now listen, fellas, we've got some serious business to go over.
Oh, we going to town and have some fun? Yeah.
Well, maybe you call it fun, I don't know. But the place is like a ghost town.
Yeah? What happened?
Gunslingers are taking over. People are hiding indoors to keep out of gun range.
Oh, something is fishing, huh?
Boys, pick up that horse. You all right, miss?
I think so. Someone must have taken a shot at me.
Yeah. You're right. They didn't miss far either.
I'm certainly thankful you came along, Mr.
Saunders is the name. My friends call me Trigger.
I'm Ethel Strong. Our ranch is just a few miles from here.
Oh. Boys, meet Miss Ethel Strong.
Pleased to see you. Oh, senorita, I'm gonna write you a beautiful song.
Not now, Chico, later. Which way is your ranch?
Up the road, straight ahead.
Oh. I think we'll ride with you.
Thank you. I'll be glad to have your company.
All right. Your sister?
No, my stepmother, Martha.
Oh.
Ethel, you had me worried. I was just about to send Jim Blake into town to find you.
Lucky for me, the gunman was a bad shot. Otherwise, I'd have been a goner.
What are you talking about?
I'll explain. First, I want you to meet Mr. Saunders. My stepmother, Mrs. Strong.
Howdy.
Hello.
Rusty and Chico.
Howdy. Pleased to meet you.
Just look at my hat, Martha. A little closer, and you wouldn't have had a stepdaughter.
Did you tell the sheriff?
No. It might have been an accident.
If you'll pardon me, ma'am, that bullet was meant for you.
Perhaps you're right, Mr. Saunders.
Trigger will do.
Would you care to join us for dinner?
Well, now, we
Accept the invitation with the greatest of pleasure.
Of course you'll stay.
Glad to. Kind of like to wash up a little first.
Well, the bunkhouse is over there. I'll send one of the boys to take care of your horses.
Thank you, ma'am. Whoever rode this horse was sure in a hurry.
He sure was. I think so, no? Oh, I hope it's a nice place. Oh, that's great. All right, Rusty.
That food sounds good to me.
Yes, sir. This is a nice place to stay.
Yeah, and now.
Well, how do you like that? Not bad. Stay over here, no?
Hey, boys. It looks like we're going to have company.
Yeah?
Hello, gents.
Hello?
I'm Jim Blake. Mrs. Strong sent me to see if you needed anything before I put up my bronc.
Well, thanks. We've got everything we need.
All right.
You're the one that's always fighting with me. I know what's the matter. I never touched you. You're the one who's down. Love it, Mike. I was awful. That's the way you want to do it. Tell me you want to love him, Mike. You're the one that's going to... Wait!
Hey. Sorry I had to use your iron. Mine were a little out of reach. Only way I could stop those two.
Says traveling with me, I wouldn't waste lead shooting at the floor.
Don't worry. That lead wasn't wasted. They stopped fighting.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Strong says when you're ready, come on into the house.
We'll be right with you.
Rusty, you hit me pretty hard, you know. We were only playing.
Oh, forget it. Here, Trigger, that'll dig out one of them slugs.
Well, boys, it looks like we've really got something.
See.
Identical.
Yes, it looks that way.
Oh, Bill.
Oh, hello, Trigger. How'd you find things out at Strong's ranch?
Very interesting. I'd like to ask a few questions.
Well, fire away.
What do you know about Jim Blake?
Oh, he used to work for Hilton at the bank, but seems he couldn't get along with folks, so he was fired.
Well, how'd he wind up out the Strong ranch?
Mrs. Strong gave him a job.
I see. Say, Bill, what do those look like to you?
Odd caliber. 32-20s. Well, I'd say they came out of the same gun.
Strikes me the same.
Now, where'd you get them?
I went digging
Huh?
for lead.
Oh.
I found them in two separate locations. Where's the slug that killed Tom Strong?
Over at the corners? Why?
Suppose you get it and see how it lines up with those two.
Yeah, I'll do that right away.
Somebody's ringing the coroner.
What is it? I only got the tail end of that conversation. The sheriff wants a slug that killed Tom Strong. What good will that do him? If they should happen to find out that bullet matches one fired from your gun... Say, what about those shots Saunders fired into the bunkhouse floor? Hey, you're right. And now I know what he meant when he said they wasn't wasted. You fool. Why'd you let him get a hold of your gun? Well, you better get rid of it. And quick. I'll get rid of it, all right. And Saunders at the same time. It's up to you and Chuck. Get him.
Yeah, they'd better start digging a new hole up in Boot Hill. They're going to need it for him.
What's the idea?
What do you mean? All right, keep him up.
What happened?
Sheriff, you better lock this man up on a charge of murder.
You're under arrest.
You better come along too, Trigger.
Okay, Bill. Don't be surprised if that hombre didn't have something to do with Jim Wright's killing.
You think so?
You bet.
Say, Trigger, I just saw Hilton riding out of town with Blake. And some hombre with a scar on his face.
That sounds like Nick Gray. Can't believe Hilton had mixed with him.
Well, I can. You better get that cell fixed up. Our friend's gonna have company.
I sure will.
Come on, Rusty.
That was doggone close.
You bet. You draw his fire over there. I'll scout around this way.
Right.
All right, drop it. What are you trying to pull?
I thought you were somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
So you got him, huh?
You bet. Pick up his gun, Rusty. Take him on into the sheriff.
That'll be a pleasure.
I'll meet you at the Strong Ranch.
Come on, get going.
Nice work, Spike.
Where do you think you're going? I'm taking this coyote to jail.
I'm Nick's friend. You ain't taking him anywhere.
We'll take him over to the shack. Didn't I warn you against having any strangers on this ranch?
After all, this is still Ethel's ranch, and they're her guests.
Ethel or no Ethel, I want those men out of here.
Ethel! I heard what you said.
Oh, you did? Well, I'll take care of that.
What are you doing out here, Chico?
Something funny going on in the house. Mr. Hilton and the senora hold hands.
Oh, what about Blake?
Oh, he go to the bunkhouse.
Good work, Chico. Keep your eye on Blake. Sure. Thank you. Pardon me, Miss Strong. I just want to thank you and Miss Strong for your kind hospitality and to tell you that Chico, Rusty, and I are moving on.
I'm sure Ethel will be sorry to hear about it. She's in town right now.
We'll probably meet up. Thank you again, Mrs. Strong, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Wait, Sheriff. Open that cell and let Chuck out. I hope you know what you're doing. That man's held for murder. I'm doing the talking. Open up.
Well, Sheriff, who got the jump on you?
Nick Gray threw the keys over by the desk.
Nick Gray? Why, that's the fellow Rusty was bringing in.
What for?
For trying to ambush us.
Oh.
Trigger! I follow Blake. He puts Senorita Ethel in a wagon, and then he drives to a shack near trees at the fork in the road.
That's Nick's shack.
Bill, get me a couple of boys. I'll raid that shack. That's probably where they're holding Rusty, too. And while you're at it, get a hold of Mrs. Strong and lock her up.
I don't get you, Trigger.
Well, you will. She probably knows who killed her husband and why. Come on, Chico.
Let's go.
Hey, that's Nick and Blake. Chico, head back to the shack. Find out what's happened to Rusty.
You bet you I will.
You fellas follow me now and watch your step. You're at the end of the trail, Blake.
Trigger, I don't find Rusty at the shack.
What did you do with Miss Strong and Rusty? They're in the wagon. Chico, take this guy into the sheriff.
No, my little hombre, we're going to have a little walk.
That's the doggonedest ride I ever had.
We're lucky to be alive.
Come, let's get away from here. Oh, Trigger. Trigger, you should have seen what happened to that wagon.
Well, you didn't get hurt, did you?
A little shaken up, but lucky.
Oh, I'm sure glad of that. Rusty, take Miss Strong into town, and I'll meet you at the sheriff's office.
Sure.
Okay.
Just the man I want to talk to.
The judge is the man you want to talk to.
Why, what do you...
I wouldn't do that, Mr. Hilton. You'll have plenty of time to think about what you're going to talk about in jail. Bill, it's hard to believe that Mrs. Strong would be in on a scheme like this.
That's right, Trigger. I could hardly believe my own ears when she confessed that Hilton planned the bank robbery so Blake could kill Tom Strong.
And with Ethel Strong out of the way, why, Martha would be sole owner of the ranch. And then she could get hitched to Hilton. Bill, you know, every criminal makes at least one mistake. In this case, it was the shot Blake took at Ethel Strong.
That's right. The lead slugs established the ownership of the killer's gun.
Well, so long, Bill. It's sure been swell working with you.
Thanks, Trigger.
Hey, wait a minute, Trigger. What about the reward?
Yeah, how about it?
We collected, no?
Yeah, what about that?
Bill, you collect the $5,000 and give it to Jim Wright's widow and kids. We had our reward rounding up the killer.
I sure will.
Dead nabbit, that's why we're always broke.
Oh, there goes 3,000 tamales, 2,000 bowls of chilies, tacos, enchiladas, and a barrel full of tequila.
Come on, pal.
Yeah, I can't come right now. I tell you.
What a great action-packed episode of a series that it would have been so fun to watch more episodes of. Some of you probably even noticed Lewis Wilson, the screen's first ever Batman. Thank you for joining us for the Forsaken Westerns. We hope you'll join us again here next time. My name's Bob Terry. Have a great day.